This is Python Poker, and we're back today for another video in the Play and Explain Challenge. So we are looking at $132 on the current bankroll, starting from the $50 buy-in. I have about 363 hands, so really small sample size, but that's just the numbers as they are. So we're going to go through some hands today, give some analysis, our current thoughts. If you see any place in the action where you think I should have played the hand differently, please comment below, and I'd love to get your feedback and think about the hands and your thoughts to see if I can make a better decision in the future. That's all the goal is, just to get better every day at a time, one hand at a time, and explain my thoughts out here in real time so we can get help with that analysis. So I'm definitely going to fold here. This hand, there's no real draws that I have here, and I don't think that's a hand worth continuing there. So we'll look at the action though, and we'll continue to think through the hand as if we were playing it. So 16 BB pot. Okay, so we're going to lead half pot bet, representing half pot bet with a jack. Jack will do this. I don't think anything less than a jack would do a half pot bet. And good card. Jack does call with that. So the person representing the jack didn't have the jack, and the person called actually had the jack. So well played, I guess. I think maybe Jack 3 could possibly raise there. Slight small min raise maybe, but maybe it's too thin for the person that did call with the Jack 3 2 pair. But calling is fine there, especially with the flush hitting the board, and I think there was a straight draw as well. Need to focus more on the action, so make sure I can make a better informed decision. But clearly, for me, the ace 5 offsuit was a clear fold in that hand. So let's see if we get some interesting hands to discuss today, and we will go from there. So here we have, I believe this is just going to be a fold hand, even though it is the ante game here. 3-9 suited. It's a large raise. I'm going to fold there. So we got a 6 BB raise, so it's interesting. I'm also taking notes of the sizes of these open raise sizes to see what gets calls, what gets immediate folds. So it seems like 6 BBs had no action there, given the 5.5 BB ante already in the pot. So again, I only have 363 hands. However, maybe I'm going on a sun run here. So, at the 132 BBs before I started this action. I played one hand earlier. It was like I lost 12 BBs in the hand. I don't think I played it necessarily well, but I basically had top pair on a board where there was a straightening card that completed at the end. Out of position led into me half pot. I called with a top pair, but I had a feeling when I was calling I might not have been the best choice with the straightening board. And also so what happened was there was a flush draw board that missed, but on the river 9 to king straight did complete. So I probably should have folded there, but in retrospect you can't really do much besides you should have folded, because of course the hand is over with and you lost the hand. But during the hand I was thinking that I should fold, but anyway, we'll go. It's okay, we'll take that and learn for the next time. We can't hold on to it, but we can now keep it in our mental model for that kind of structure, and go from there and just file it accordingly. All right, so let's focus and dial in on these actions here and see what we have. Showdown, ace queen, ace 8, 2 pair, and 100 BB pot. Okay, so a large pot for calling with a marginal ace versus ace queen. All right, so I have ace 10 offsuit. I think I'm gonna open this one. I'm gonna do the 6. I'll do 5 BB size. Okay, so hopefully that was just to get a heads up against the limper here, and they fold. Okay. Interesting. So 5 BBs open, 5x over the limp. Had some success there. So we'll put that in our mental model to use for the next time with this ante game, which is the equivalent of basically betting the total ante as the bet. So it's kind of, the total pot would have been the 5.5 BB ante plus my 5 BB bet, which is kind of like a half pot bet if you think about it. So the total BBs would be 10 versus the 5. So I'm still getting used to the ante game. I usually don't do ante games, but this is a new site we're testing out, and we're having some success so far. It's interesting, this site, because the whole country, we live in the U.S., but is available to play this pool, and their minimum game is a 10NL game. So this is going to have a variety of players from 2NL to 10NL structure, like the distribution of players. So we're banking on there's lots of fish, 2NL, 5NL players. Who knows? We're technically a fish as well. We're playing the micro stakes here, but until we get to the low stakes, as they say. I'm not sure what quantifies as low stakes. Maybe when you get to 25 NL, that low stakes is still micro. I think 25 is the cutoff on what's considered low stakes online versus micro. But there's a large player pool here, and we're banking on just people making mistakes, and we'll go from there. So we're just going to play our hands one hand at a time. I don't care about the past, don't care about the future. I care about the present. So we'll analyze every decision, just make the best decision possible. So get a call from the small blind for this open and a fold. So I have a flush draw here. I'm going to bet my equity here. I'm going to do a 50% pot bet because it's a couple of draws out there. All right, so I do pick up some equity as well. I don't think that they're going to fold here. I'm going to do 75% pot. Okay, so we're just betting our equity there because we did pick up a draw and we had the flush draw. So banking on continuing that action. It looks like 75% turn bet is working against that individual who called a pre-flop bet 3BB and called a small 27% flop bet. No, actually I did 50% flop bet with the flush draw. So I probably should have did a little higher on the flop. Maybe could have gotten some more BBs, but I think 50% bet was fine with my equity. Picking up the equity on the turn as well makes sense to continue through that hand. And I think a flush draw would have continued with that 75% bet. So hopefully maybe a flush hits and they have a smaller flush. We can try to get some more value there. Also picking up some draws with my wheel draw makes sense to continue with that combo there. I was most likely playing against ace high or king, an overcard to the board there. I think a draw would continue if they're picked up. Any wheel draw possibly would. Well, that wouldn't make sense. They probably might not have had ace high then, because if they might have continued with the gut shot if they had ace high. So I probably did not have ace high on that hand that they folded there when I had the ace 9 of clubs. But okay, so far so good. So we're looking at some action here. We got a bet here and fold. And we don't get to see any showdown. let's see what we got here. We are in the small blind. Let's see what the action has. Okay, whoa, 11 BB raise, huh? That's definitely not aces. I'm gonna fold that though. Probably had some type of king, jack, king, queen, maybe. I don't think an ace king would bet that high. You still want to get some action with your value. Maybe not. I don't know what they're thinking there. Hopefully, maybe I'm going to look at that individual's showdowns to see what they're playing. I can look at their stats as well. 38% VPIP, 14% aggressive actions. A little loose. Typically, if a player is that loose pre-flop, when they do bet, they could be convinced to more equity range when they put that much BBs in the pot. The 10 BBs is a large portion of your stack, especially whenever you can get 3x over the top, 30 BBs. You're eventually going to be playing for stacks at that point with that 10x open, because you're not just going to give away the 10 or so BBs for free. So they probably had some decent hand there. Probably at least a suited king, queen, queen, jack, maybe ace, jack. I think ace, king, or aces, kings, possibly queens would probably do a smaller open, maybe 3 to 5x. But so they didn't get any action there. We'll look for that person's showdown in the future. And I'm gonna fold this from early position. I would probably call that in later position, but early position I can't be playing those kind of combos. And this is lunch. I said chess yesterday too. This is lunch poker, and we had a guessing game before. You can probably tell by the wrapper. It's fast food versus my homemade food. Hopefully it's not too loud. I'll try to be a little quieter and not chew while I'm talking, but maybe you can guess what lunch item this is, like we did in the game yesterday. It is a fast food item again. I know, not the best choice for food for lunch, but you know, it's $2.88 for this combo of items that I have, and it's a fast food restaurant, so we'll give you that hint, and maybe we'll guess what we have, what you think, right in the comments, and we'll make the reveal at the end of the video. So let's look what we got here. 6-5 suited. I think I want to 3-bet this hand instead of calling. I'm gonna make an aggressive action because I believe that's the individual that called my 3x open and called the flop bet. Yeah, we're gonna raise this hand today. See what we got. Okay, so we do pick up a gut shot, and we do have a backdoor flush draw, so I'm going to check, and we'll see here. So they're going to I'm going to continue here, small size on the completing turn, and see if they raise, see if they continue there. All right, so I'm gonna have to bluff this one, I believe. I'm gonna do a bluff here. The reason why I'm doing a bluff there is because I believe a jack would bet on the flop once I check to them, and I could check down since I'm uncapped there. That's my reasoning on my flop check into position. I want to see what they want to do. Since they checked, I can possibly put them on not having a jack, but I have all the jacks in my range. I bet small, which means that I could still have a jack there, looking for to see if they go over the top on a flush draw, if they re-raise over the top. Since I have no showdown value and no really connection to that board at all, the only thing for me to do at that time is to bluff, and I had to continue there. So that was my thought process on that. We got through. All right, so we pick up a nice solid pair here on this limped pot. Now we have 2 pair. So what I want to do here is I'm going to bet half pot, representing hopefully a king will call, a straight draw hopefully will call. Hopefully there's no one-liners that happen on the end, so a flush does come on at the end. Backdoor pot flushes are kind of small, but they might still have them. I'm going to bet a small bet for value, hopefully for a king to call, and we will probably fold over the top. Okay, so that's what we were kind of hoping for, to get a king X, a smaller king X to call on that value there. So I like the way we played that one. I don't want to bet much bigger than that, especially since there's maybe I could have did a 75% bet on that one. So what do you think? I did a smaller bet just to get a sure call from king 4, or any king X that's smaller than my king queen. But I mean, I like the way the hand happened. I got some value. We thought through the hand, but maybe even we could have got a little bit more value at the end as well. But those are the kind of things that I need to focus on. Winning a hand is great. Knowing when you win the hand, I'm trying to get max value on these bet sizes. But maybe I'm overanalyzing that one a little bit. What do you think? Maybe I should have bet a little bit more there. Maybe 75% pot would be the minimum. Maybe 66% pot could have been reasonable as well. Alright, so we have some action here. 4-4. I'm going to bet and a fold. We're not going to be able to see the showdown there, but 10-6 of clubs. I'm going to fold this hand. I'm still going to play my reasonable ranges here. Honestly, I have not looked at the ante ranges yet, but I'm having some good success with the Bankroll challenge so far. So I'm just going to continue playing the way I've been playing recently. Could be on a sun run. You never know, but because win rate is a lagging indicator of your strategy. So we could technically not be on a sun run. We need more data to prove. I think I'm going to need to have at least 15,000 hands as a sample size to make sure that I can relatively be confident about my win rate. So I'm just going to look at the high level bankroll at the end of the day and the end of the week as your true indicator of win rate. I mean, realistically, you can have BBs per 100, BBs per hand, whatever you want to do, position, percentages, this and that. But at the end of the day, it's all about your bankroll. So bankroll is a true indicator of your skill. If it goes up, you're doing something great. If you're staying steady or going a little low, hey, you're doing something, not so good. So that's what I'm going to be doing, at least until I get to about 15,000 sample size, to kind of just see how we're progressing here. But of course, you can't always take bankroll as well, because you could have a sun run where you hit everything. But we got a bluff through here today, so we're doing some things that aren't sun run related, and we got some value here. Putting our opponents on certain hands to get max value. Also, that does increase win rate there. But let's look at some of the action here. a limp from the button. Limps around, folks. Check. Small blind, check. And the limper on the button checks. And let's see who wants to take this pot down. 1 BB. The 1 BB bet can be anything, folks. 1 BB takes it down. Okay. Interesting. I think I would call any reasonable draw for a 1 BB bet. Anything. But the ranges are so wide on that. Even if you have any pair, unpaired portion of your hand is worth 1 BB, I think, at that point. But I guess the players playing the hand disagreed with that on their own logic. So 5-2 suited. Don't mind these wheel type suited hands on the big blind here. We definitely want to complete a lot more on the big blind since we're closing the action. I think I want to play this aggressively though, instead of just calling, because I'll get some fold equity. This individual, I think, has folded before to pre-flop action. Yeah, I'm not just gonna call. I'm gonna raise this 4x plus the limper. I probably should have did 6 BBs. I'm gonna do 5 BBs, and they're gonna call. Pre-flop 2 pair. The backdoor flush draw. I'm gonna continue betting since that was a 3-bet pot here. Maybe I should have checked to him, but what do you think there? Maybe I should have checked that. What do I want to call by? A king? Should I be sneaky here? I'm gonna be sneaky and call this one, especially since it's a recreational player here. Small. The reason I say recreational player, or just a short stack player, they didn't top up. They have 64 BBs, and we will go from there. I think I want to raise this, but I want to get a call. I'm going to see if I can call and see if I get a call from the opponent behind me. I can maximize the pot size. Okay. Now I lose to all flushes. Probably don't have a flush since they checked. I'm gonna bet 50% pot, 78% pot this time. See if I get more value. And I'm gonna fold to a all-in over the top. I'm gonna fold to a raise as well. Okay, so we did get some value there. So this is an example of thinking through some logic of previous hands, where judging on who we're playing against, see what we can get a call by. Went up to 78% is my standard settings I'm using now, but versus the previous hand that we did earlier, we did a 50% pot bet on the river. See those kind of little details of 50% versus 75%, even to an over bet, is what will help my win rate improve. I'm not really talking as much as I normally do in my day-to-day, so we won't be saying words correctly until we get used to this type of commentary, but we'll take it. What do you think on that last hand with the ace queen, the 2 pair? I want to do a 78% pot bet to get a call from a top pair type of hand, or like even a mid marginal pair type of hand. because there was some draws out there that did complete. I think a straight draw and flush draw. But given the action, that bet size, because if I would have checked there on the end, 9 times out of 10, the action would have checked back and I wouldn't have got any value. So I wanted to make sure I lead there to get I had 2 pair, right? So 2 pair is very strong. We had to get some value on that type of holding. Take a look at the action here. So, okay, this is the person I played against earlier. They topped up this time though, so they are topping up. So whenever I played them, they had a short stack. Check. So you bet, then you check. So 9 comes in. Okay. Why would they bet? Well, I guess they got some value there on their bet. Well, maybe they targeted the flush draws with their 7s there. Yeah, you never know. But interesting hand. Just make a note of that they will do a value / bet with a pair that's a 3rd pair to the board with the draws and I think over cards. Okay, interesting. And they leave. So that little mental note that we had wasn't very limp this one. I'm going to be a little tricky. King 2 suited. We're going to limp this one. I'm going to call a small bet. I'm going to call a 3x to 5x bet. Basically, we're only hoping that this is kind of like a set mining type hand if we can get to the flop here. So this is kind of a set mining type of hand where we are going to look for a flush draw or hit one of these trip type hands. What are we beating here? We're beating ace high. I'm gonna bet 1 BB to hopefully get a call from ace high and try to get some value. Raise to 5 BBs. Okay, so what do we beat? Do we want to? Why would I even bet? What are they representing? They check the flop, and now they have a 5. I think I'm gonna call once. So now here. Should I check here? I'm gonna check and hopefully they have ace high. If they bet a reasonable size, I'm gonna fold. 25, this looks like a bluff. I'm gonna fold that one, but I'm defaulting to fold, especially if I don't have any notes on the player. Let's see what I should have looked at their stats beforehand, before I was playing the hand, but let's look at it retroactively. Okay, we'll look at it, 31, 16, reasonable. Okay, normal type stats. I got into the chips settings again, so I need to go back to BBs. Betting, BBs, okay. That's what happened to me yesterday. On a large pot, for some reason it randomly changed to chips instead of BBs, which caused me some BBs. Then we lost there. Okay, so I'm not a fan of the way I played that hand. Probably should have folded to the re-raise. What do you think there? It looked kind of bluffy because they checked the flop with a 10. So a 10 would probably bet. And then the turn comes, they raised me. I probably should have checked it. I should have checked the turn with my value. There's no point getting a call from ace high. I run into raises like that, and then they action like that, where ace high could bluff there, draws could bluff there. I think that was my own mistake there on that hand. I should have folded to the re-raise. First of all, I should not have even bet a big blind to get a call from an ace high. Like, that's the only hand that would call is an ace high combo type of hand. So that 1 BB bet was a mistake. That's one mistake. Second mistake is calling the re-raise. And, even if I got a default to like large bet sizing. Does typically are under bluff lines, and from my history, but I think I could have saved 5 BBs on that hand, and those kind of things add up over time. So I need to be a little bit better on that for the next time. Okay. So we're going to play to the button here and wrap it up for today. There's no incentive for me, it seems, to continuing to play to the blind, since it's a anti-game of half a BB. So I'm going to just play the button here and go from there. I got a small blind, and we're getting a 4x from... I'm going to call this one just because it's a recreational player with a short stack, and we have some type of double gut shot. We have backdoor draw. I'm going to just fold this one. I shouldn't even have played it pre-flop. But since it was the reason why I call there is because for two reasons. One, short stack open. There's an anti-game incentive to call, so I need to open up my ranges a little bit. And also, if I call, it's going to leave the big blind to possibly call. So the pot's going to be bigger, pot odds for me to continue there. And I'm going to raise here on the button and see if we can just pick up this normal size check. I'm going to bet here. There's some draws out there, so I'm going to do a half pot bet. And from here, I'm going to check and see what they do, because I think I can put them on a draw as well. I have no bluff catchers here to continue, so we're going to fold there. We're going to sit out, and we're going to call it quits there for today. So let's look at our hands. I have 397 hands. I'm going to go back to lobby, leave table, and so okay. All right, so we started with 132 chips. We're up to 134 now, so not the greatest session in the world, but that's kind of what we're going to deal with. Not every session we're going to win multiple stacks. Not every session we're going to lose multiple stacks. Most sessions are going to be around break even, because if our win rate, that's a great win rate, is 5 BBs for 100. Think about that. In this game, that's 50 cents per 100 hands, and I play about 100 hands every hour and a half or so at one table. So it's okay for me to be around this size for now, and just slowly progress the bankroll, one day at a time, one hand at a time, and we'll see what happens. We'll see the compounding interest of my strategies and my game improving to just win slightly more in the future. So we got a couple bucks there on that session. Didn't play too terrible. Have a couple hands I want to get back. So the hand here, when I was trying to get a call from ace high, bet 1 BB, they raised 5 BBs. I called. I should have saved the 5. I should have just folded at that point, save 5 BBs or whatever. You never know what happens. A 2 could come, a king could come. I had some implied odds on the call, so I have some equity in the call. But I could have saved some BBs there. Also, another hand earlier, I bet a half pot bet, maybe a 75% pot bet for a call. Could give me some more BBs. So there's a couple things I need to iron out. And there was another hand before I started recording where I lost 16 BBs in a call on the river where out of position led with a straightening, completing card, and I call with top pair, but by the actions it seemed like it should have been a fold. Hindsight's 20/20, as they say. But those are little things I need to keep in mind to be sharper in the future. But let's wrap it up here for today, and we will see you. Oh, wait, I forgot to tell you the lunch. Diet Coke and double cheeseburger. So there at McDonald's has an app where you get a Diet Coke and a double cheeseburger for $2.70 or so, which is amazing of a deal. So not the healthiest of the deal, but I like that price option. So all right, well, we'll see you next time. Stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.